Yeah. Sorry about that, everybody. Had a little technical difficulty. We'll get started back up. Looks like just about everybody is back in the meeting. So we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks to everybody for being here. Appreciate it. This is the Home ARP State Local Recovery Funds Request for Proposals Pre-Proposal Conference. This meeting is being recorded, and the slides from this meeting and the meeting itself are available on the PCHIP website shortly after we're done here. I'm Ben Carpenter. I'm the Community Services Project Supervisor for the Home Program, primarily involved with all things home, and will be your point of contact for this request for proposals and throughout the process. Ray Quihis was not here today, but he is also a good point of contact for this proposal program. If anybody has any technical difficulties, please log out and log back in. Please stay muted throughout the presentation. Hold time for questions and answers at the end of the session. So while we're here, please use the question and answer function in Zoom to submit your questions, and we'll try to get to them at the end of the presentation. If there are any questions that I can't answer, we'll make sure to do the research to find out a good answer for you, and we'll get that posted to our website on the Q&A page after we're done. And again, you can find the slides and the video for this on our PCHIP website. So today, we're going to go over an overview of the program, talk about the RFP, what is eligible as an activity, the financing, and the application, and then we'll look at a timeline and go over questions and answers. So just as a broad overview of the Home ARP and State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds program for this year, this receives an annual home entitlement grant from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and that is used primarily for gap financing for projects. And recently released U.S. Treasury guidance on state and local fiscal recovery funds have authorized those funds to be used for affordable housing in beneficiary jurisdictions. And as a note here, those state and local fiscal recovery funds will be administered under the Home program. So all of the funding in this RFP will be administered under the Home program and subject to regulations of the Home program. For this solicitation, approximately $3.5 million will be available. Our targets are 4% LIHTC projects up to $1 million, for 9% projects up to $500,000, and non-LIHTC for and rehabilitation also up to $1 million. But understand that these levels of funding can be adjusted based on underwriting, and that the city reserves the right to change the amount of funding based on the need to meet the projects selected. And please note that no matter what I say, everything that we do here and going forward is subject to the program guidance in 42 USC 12701 and 24 CFR 9. So the request for proposals that went out, it's available at our website, at the PCHIP website. If anybody has any difficulty with that, please let me know. The solicitation includes 3 documents: the RFP, which is the call, and all of the instructions for how to fill things out and all the requirements around the program. Also, the application narrative, that is a Word document, an application workbook, which is an Excel document. Words go on, numbers go in Excel. These are different documents than you've seen in the past if you've been involved with the program, but they should hold the same information. If there's anybody that has any comment on those products or wants to let me know anything that's wrong with them, please reach out. I'm not perfect and just want to make that process better going forward. So the eligible activities under this solicitation in the home program are for acquisition and rehabilitation of existing rental housing, new construction of rental housing, and the refinance of existing debt when used to rehabilitate a property. I think the bottom line here is just to know that any use of home program funds have to result in the creation of housing units that are going to be made available for home eligible low income families. So all home funding has to result in the creation of units. Eligible types of property under the program are site-built single unit and multi-unit housing, group homes, manufactured housing, and single room occupancy units. And then here is all projects have to begin work within 12 months of award and must be completed within 4 years of the award. And the unit must be occupied within 6 months of project completion. Units created must be occupied by families that are determined to be low income. Eligibility will be determined at initial occupancy and annually. All assisted households have to be at or below 65% of AMI, and 90% of rental households be at or below 60% of AMI at lease up. And importantly, projects with 5 or more units that are supported with funding from the program, if you go above 5 units, at least 20% of the units must be households at or below 50% of AMI. Financing for this program will be provided at a fully amortized rate of 2%, and applicants can request loan terms of 15, 30, or 40 years. The primary use of funding in the home program is for gap financing, and the affordability period typically determined by the finance level, but all new construction will incur a 20-year period of affordability. For the application for the RFP, the application consists of a number of different elements. I'll go over this list. It is not exhaustive. Please pay attention to the RFP and the application materials. But as a general overview, the application materials include applicant information, goals of the project, including population served and support services, if they're included. Proposed project information, including the location, the site, the structure, how it's going to be built, what type of construction, and also importantly, the site's access to amenities, including transit, medical care, education, and any other amenities that are close to the site. The number of home units supported. Please try to include at least information about whether or not the zoning is in place for the construction or for the project, or if there's going to be a rezoning and what that timeline looks like. Please include information about existing utilities and how the utilities are going to be paid for, including information about whether those utilities are going to be rolled into the rent and taken care of by the owner, or whether that will be the responsibility of the tenants. More application materials include a property management plan, including the entity that will be the property management company, or whether or not that's going to be the owner or the developer, or that'll be contracted out. Include the rent collection method. Also, an appropriate market demand analysis, as that is a requirement of HUD regulations and City of Tucson policy. Cost estimates for the development, property information, and an acquisition plan if the property is to be acquired through the process. Budgeting and financials, and include information about the project team and their experience in the area. We're definitely looking for background and successful completion of working with projects that utilize federal funding. Please note the options that are listed in the RFP and the application. And again, this list isn't exhaustive. Please review those documents carefully and make sure that you include all the required information in your application. Technical assistance is available. You can contact me anytime with questions. I would appreciate questions being submitted to HCD grants, and we'll try to get those answers back out. They'll come out every Monday. If I do need to talk through with you, you can contact me directly, especially if it has to do with the functionality of the application materials, because they are new, trying to create a better process that's more accessible for everybody. So please let me know if there's any issue with the application and can work through those things. The last day to submit questions will be the 5th of January, and our final answers will come out the following Monday. All right, the evaluation criteria for applications. Proposals will be evaluated based on the criteria that's published in the RFP, and you can find that on page 26. On page 24, there are threshold requirements. Please make sure that your application meets the threshold requirements and that you are looking at the evaluation criteria closely, because that is how we're going to score every application. If the project doesn't meet the threshold criteria, it won't be scored. And evaluation criteria relate directly to the application. So the more fully you answer the questions, the better we'll have the ability to score your project. And projects that are aligned with the goals, and this is in the evaluation criteria of the housing affordability strategy for Tucson and the city's comprehensive plan, may be prioritized. That's part of the reason that the HAST is out there as a guideline for the direction that we're trying as a department. So the timeline for the RFP, it was released on the 21st of November. Q&A will be posted to the PCHIP website every Monday. We're doing the pre-proposal conference now. Applications will be due on January 10th, with final questions being submitted by the 5th of January. And award announcements will be based on the evaluation of each project and the approval. These project proposals will have to go through mayor and council. So I believe that we're aiming for that to happen in February. So once we get a better date, I will definitely get information out about when those awards will be made. So at this time, I'm going to take questions in the Q&A. I'll try to answer the questions that are there. And again, we'll post responses online every Monday. So I see we got questions in the Q&A right now. I believe the definition of award for the 12-month deadline would be at the award of the project when we submit or when the letters go out. And if you have any input there, Jason, please feel free to jump in.
Yeah, so if I'm not sure when this question was asked, but so if we say if the RFP stated that projects must be underway within 12 months of award, that's going to be the date that the city of Tucson issues a contingent funding agreement. That's the point at which all project financing would need to be in place. And then at the time that we actually execute the loan agreement, there's then the 12-month period for property construction or rehabilitation activity to begin.
Thanks. Thank you for that. And the next question is, can payments be deferred during the LIHTC compliance period? And Jason, I'll ask you to chime in there again. I'm not sure if we've done that in the past. I believe we have had a deferred payment period.
Yes, so in the past we have permitted the payments to be deferred during the LIHTC compliance period. I think we need to consult the city is in the process of updating home policies and procedures, and so we'll need to consult those policies to confirm that that is still going to be permitted, so we can post that in the FAQ document. It won't be in the document that posts this Monday, just because today is Friday, but we will have it posted by the following Monday.
Thanks. I'll make sure I follow up on that question. And the next question is tentative awards in time for the 9% LIHTC round. I think that we will do everything in our power to make sure that we get that done so that we meet that timeline.
And I'll hop in there, Ben, just offer a little more assurance that maybe you're comfortable. We will be announcing awards prior to the 9% timeline with the full expectation that applicants are using this to leverage 9% awards.
Thanks. Thanks for that. Then the next study is, will market study have to conform to 8.0 standards, or can an abbreviated report be submitted? So the market study does need to conform to a full market study unless it has a identified body of tenants that will lease up and be termed, or it is smaller than 5 units. And that information is also in the RFP and is defined there. If there are any other questions.
Oh, sorry, Ben. There is a follow-up from David related to 12 months from loan agreement and contingent award. So I can hop in there and maybe clarify the difference. So depending on the type of project and the intended financing, we set in our contingent agreements, we'll set a period by which financing has to be in place. That's what's set in the contingent award as a timeline, which allows for, if it's a 9% award, allows for the period that ADOH will require in order to make those decisions, et cetera. Then the 12-month, like the project must be underway, is from the date of loan agreement, not from the date of contingent award. We recognize that would be too aggressive of a schedule for most projects.
Thanks for that answer. And next question, will you publish today's attendee list? We can definitely not publish the attendee list.
We have not published attendee lists in the past.
Okay. If there are any more questions, please put your questions into the question and answer function, and we'll hang out for a few more minutes to see if there are any questions that come through. Otherwise, thank you everybody for being here. And another question, is market study required by January 10th? I'll have to look into that. Unless you have any input there, Jason, about a market study being required.
I apologize, y'all. I've been out of the country for 2 weeks and just back and haven't looked at the RFP in a while. So I would want to, same Ben, I think we need to consult the RFP before answering that question.
Yeah, agreed. So again, thanks to everybody for being here. Appreciate your interest in creating affordable housing in the community. And you got another question? Next question is about certificate relating to arm's length transactions. Is it required for a property that's already owned, or is the certificate only necessary for new property acquisitions? That's a question I will look into and get you an answer back on. Thanks for asking. I'll get with our legal team and verify. All right, if there's no further questions, I'm going to wrap up again. Thanks to everybody for being here. Please look for the Q&A at the PCHIP website. And if you have any technical questions or need assistance, please let me know. Thanks, everybody, and have a good day.